Those are good. That's a good question, but I don't really know why we don't do the first hour. I don't have an answer for you. Don't have an answer for you. But we have announcements. And so we'll start off the hour with announcements. Make sure I got my mic. Yep, got that all. There we go. Yeah, we'll start the class period out. So your job is to also help remind me that we have announcements. Okay. So let's kickstart that right now. Shouldn't be that long. I don't think they're that long of announcements, but let me mute my mic. Or not. Come on.
Hello, Park High School. I'm Katrina. And I'm Aaliyah. And these are your daily announcements. Seniors, the virtual senior meeting originally scheduled for April 21st is postponed until Monday, May 10th. Payment for the $30 graduation fee will open on Smart School beginning April 21st and closes for payment on June 4th at 3 p.m. If you are interested in speaking at the graduation ceremony as a single person or duo, please sign up with Ms. Diamond in the main office. Deadline to sign up is Tuesday, April 27th. Do you like to bike? Are you interested in learning new skills on a bike and putting them to the test? Want to be part of something fun and exciting in the summer and fall? Join the Power Mountain Bike Team. No previous experience necessary. You don't even need to own a bike. 6th and 12th graders are invited to join us for an informational meeting on Thursday, April 15th at 7 p.m. on Zoom. Check the website for all the details at pwermtv.org. These has been your daily announcements, Park High School. Have a wondrous Wednesday. Hello, Park High School. I'm Katrina. And I'm...
All right, so there's our announcements. Maybe we'll have more, you know, as the school year continues to progress there and get some more activities and stuff in place. So how did the ACT go for you? For those who took it? So long? Stressful? So long? Well, hopefully you might have signed up, registered, or set up your My ACT account so you can see that information. I'm sure we'll probably in some ways get some results later in May. So I think like 6 weeks maybe you might get them. But maybe we'll also get a physical copy to hand out to you as well. All right. So it definitely is a stress time or stressor when you are taking a test like that. But we do know that some schools are moving away from tests like that. So that can be a benefit. But others are returning back to it as well with, you know, as we get back to maybe what we'll consider normal. They are, some of the East Coast schools and West Coast schools are going back to those high stakes tests, the SATs. And the ACTs as well. So it seems like we're going in different directions on that. All right. So for today, we are going to continue with our civil rights. And just before we do that, just a reminder, next week is the end of the trimester 3.1 or hexmester 3.1. Just kind of zip by so quick. And then we're right there at the end. And it's going to go by very, very quick as well. But if you are missing anything, let's please take care of that business and let's get that stuff in. And I'll try to correct periodically so we get a good idea of what our grade is. Okay? So with the activity today, we are looking at attempts to end segregation in the South, and we'll continue with that. But what I want to do is I want to focus on Selma. And so I got a video clip here, and it's with the march from Selma to Montgomery. Sometimes is referenced as Bloody Sunday. Their goal, those who did the Selma to Montgomery, that march, what was their goal? What was the goal? March on Selma. What was the goal? Those who have done it, either here or at home.
To get voting rights.
Was to get voting rights. Was to get voting rights. And there's a lot that goes into the meaning of getting voting rights. In many cases, you are, if you have the ability to vote, you have the ability to determine who might be your sheriff. And you could influence that organization that way. You also obviously get to vote and select who your leaders are. You could probably create some change that way. So voting is big, and it's a big one here. So let's take a look here at what is known as Bloody Sunday, and think about some takeaways from.
Can't afford to stop now because Alabama has a date with destiny.
Alabama's date with destiny was March 7th, 1965, Bloody Sunday. John Lewis was there, leading the way.
We're marching today to dramatize to the nation, dramatize to the world, that hundreds and thousands of Negro citizens of Alabama denied the right to vote. And we intend to march to Montgomery to present certain grievances to Governor George C. Wallace.
The marchers crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, only to be brutally stopped by state troopers, who attacked with nightsticks and tear gas. Lewis and others went down. More than 80 people were injured. Martin Luther King, facing threats to his life, stayed away, but vowed the marchers would try again.
I say to you this afternoon that I would rather die on the highways of Alabama than make a butchery of my conscience. Yes,
Television pictures of the violence shocked the nation and put pressure on President Johnson to act.
It seems clear after this day that the pressures on the president are great, with his friends urging actions on him he doesn't want to take and his enemies waiting for him to slip. Mr. Johnson has responded to this pressure in a characteristic manner. Today he spent over 4 hours meeting with civil rights groups, and during that time Mr. Johnson did much of the talking.
But the president's support of the marchers' cause was unequivocal.
It is wrong to deny Americans the right to vote. It is wrong to deny any person full equality because of the color of his skin.
In a nationally televised address 8 days after Bloody Sunday, Johnson urged Congress to act, using the language of the civil rights movement itself.
Their cause must be our cause too. Because it's not just Negroes, but really it's all of us who must overcome the crippling legacy of bigotry and injustice. And we shall overcome.
A new march to Montgomery was planned, and King knew the world would be watching.
And no longer are we going to allow police officers beat us and trample over us youth horses and billy clubs on us in a corner. We are going to make it necessary for them
weeks after Bloody Sunday, marchers set out again. This time, King was with them. Federal troops protected them, and they were not stopped.
So the march to Montgomery is underway. 4 nights and 5 days later, thousands will converge on the state capitol from all over Alabama to petition Governor George Wallace for a redress of Negro grievances.
I see a magnificent picture of the future. White and black together. Protestants, Catholics, and Jews together. Standing up as one because the cause is our cause. It's not just the Negro cause. This is America's cause.
The march reached Montgomery without incident, and Martin Luther King addressed the crowd from the same state capitol steps where Alabama Governor George Wallace once declared segregation forever.
Today I want to tell the city of Selma. Tell them, Doctor. Today I want to say to the state of Alabama. Yes, sir. Today I want to say to the people of America and the nations of the world, we are not about to turn around. Yes, sir. We are on the move now. Yes, sir. Yes, we're on the move, and no wave of racism can stop us.
Reverend King, your march is over now. You've accomplished your goal. What is the next move?
Well, the next move is to turn our resources and energies toward lobbying in Washington and toward inspiring people all over the nation to work passionately for the passage of the Civil Rights Bill, the voting bill, rather. It is very urgent that this bill will pass and pass quickly.
The Voting Rights Bill did pass quickly, and on August 6, 1965, with Martin Luther King looking on, President Johnson signed it into law.
Yes, we shall overcome. We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the dangling discords of Selma into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to speed up the day that all of God's children will respect the dignity and worth of human personality. With this faith, we will speed up the day when men will know everywhere that out of one blood, God made all men to dwell upon the face of the earth. With this faith, we will see a new day.
All right. So, any takeaways here? Any takeaways from that? A lot of little nuggets in there. Lots of nuggets of info in that little clip here about Bloody Sunday and the march from Selma to Montgomery, to the Capitol. Thoughts about Martin Luther King Jr.? What was some of, if we look at what made the march from Selma to Montgomery successful? What was in the formula that allowed for them to be successful? What do you got? Okay. No, that's a really good point. The federal government getting involved with troops. All right. And so earlier, Lyndon Johnson couldn't guarantee civil rights. He said he couldn't guarantee their safety. You know, that's partially true. The president has the ability to send in troops and to federalize troops. It just isn't something that the president wants to do necessarily because of the precedent that is set. But Here, the marchers, the leadership team there is forcing the hand of the federal government here. All right, and Dr. King looks like he is the principal person with the march from Selma to Montgomery. But we also have to understand that he is the head of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, but there are other groups there. SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, had been on the scene months before, kind of laying that grassroots foundation. And there were some differences between King's organization and SNCC, which kind of came out of King's organization. But then even the NAACP, it will join in, and they have some difference of opinions as well. But in the end, they are successful, federalizing the troops. But what else? Go ahead.
Persistence. They just kept coming.
Absolutely. Not going to give up. Not going to give up. The persistence piece there. And that speaks, a lot to, Dr. King and some of the others in their views, that they knew that it's going to take some time. The power of the media as well, as Dr. King had said. We're just going to keep doing it, and if they're going to beat us up, it's going to be right there. World is going to see it. Power of the media there. So their tactics, media, federalizing the troops, ultimately they do their march, they have success there, and then the ultimate success is passage of some legislation. So that is the ultimate there. But how some still though would say, look how long it took to get there. Because realistically, voting, one would say with the 15th Amendment allowed for had extended enfranchisement. But now, here it is, 1965, ultimately, you've got this taken care of. All right. So that is one way of many in terms of attempting to end segregation. You're looking at others. You see some of the big issues here, the transportation, the education, of course, voting is a part of it. And then, one could say that's just kind of like the tip of the iceberg here. There are many other issues too. Many other issues. And how to achieve those will also be on the spotlight. All right. Anyone else have any thoughts? Are we still debating any of these issues today, 2021? Yeah, we are. We are. Are we still debating voting? Absolutely. Absolutely. We're still debating voting. And we see that across the nation. We're debating the issue of voting, but also we're also debating just fair treatment. Still, we can find plenty of examples. We don't have to go too far to talk about fair treatment and having systems that are looking at individuals perhaps differently than others. So many of these issues of the civil rights movement still are with us today, big time. It's a work in, one would say, it seems like it's a work in progress, and then, how much time is it going to take, and when are we eventually going to get there? All that stuff. Okay. So with that, anything else?